So, being happy just because. Why should we be happy just because? Can we be happy just because? Well, the answer is yes, and there is a good reason for being happy just because. Number one, it improves our health. Two, it improves our immunity. Three, it improves our relationship. Four, it improves our prospects. Five, it improves our prosperity. To be happy just because is actually our default state. But we have this idea that if we're happy, we will jinx what we're after, what we long for, what we dream of. We think we'll jinx it. The truth is, no, it's the other way round. If we're miserable because we fear being happy and jinxing what we want, we are going to attract back to ourselves exactly what we put out. So you put out misery, guess what you get back? Misery. It's like fishing. You throw out a line with a bait. Now, if you throw out a tiny bait but you want a big fish, guess what you get? Tiny fish. So, what's the point of being happy just because? And who can be happy just because? The point is, life gets better for you. There's less misery, you moan less, you'll have better friendships. And not only that, your creativity improves, it increases, and you can actually find yourself doing things you never dared to venture that you could do. You can spoil yourself. Spoil yourself, even. Oops, slip of the tongue. But most of us think that if we want to be happy, just choose to be happy, that's not right. It's not feasible, it's not possible. Can I correct that thought? Being happy just because is the best thing you can do for yourself. It is the best medicine apart from laughter that you can give yourself. In the midst of your misery, in the midst of your trauma, in the midst of anything that puts you into a state of anxiety, just say no, not today, and choose. It's not as easy as I'm saying it, I know that, but deliberately choose to look at being in a state of joy. So, something's come along, it's upset me. My stomach is churning, my head is hurting, my heart is beating. What am I saying to myself? I'm literally saying, I can't cope. I can't handle this. I don't have enough knowledge or skill to escape from this situation. Is that the truth? Possibly. But what do I have in my toolkit that can help me to move through this process? Because if I don't find something, I'm going to be stuck. And once I get stuck, my body is going to learn the pattern for misery. My mind is going to learn the pattern for misery. My emotions are going to learn the pattern for misery. So that the next time a situation that arises that has a similar signature, guess what happens? My mind clicks in and says, ah, I remember when. So my body then says, oh yes, that's right. So when we remember when that thing happened, right? Oh, we need to respond in this way. This is what the body's saying. Because the mind has already said, I remember when. So the body says, heart beat harder, head feel squeezed, stomach start to churn. And as that happens, the chemical responses start pouring out. What are those chemical responses? Well, normally they would be flight, or fight. But there are other pseudo emotions that mimic flight or fight. They are called fear and fright, and they're boxed in to call the freeze response. And that's literally what happens. You freeze. You can't do anything. You can't think, you can't act, you can't move. And now, what are you going to do? Life has become a big chore. Well, if you have nothing in your toolkit, you merely suffer. But if you remember to yourself, oh, I can choose to deliberately be happy, you can make that shift. You can make things turn around. And what was holding you frozen, you can leave it behind and you can continue. It's a lot like the saying about light being at the end of the tunnel. In the middle of the tunnel, you have all those horrible experiences because our senses do not operate well in darkness, right? Got it? When we can't see, we can't tell the distance of anything, and we would rely on the sense of touch for us to find the dimensions of the area that we're stuck in. But if it's not a physical darkness, where is the sense of touch to aid us? It just doesn't work. Where is the sense of smell to aid us? It doesn't work. But if you have one thing in your toolkit that says, I can deliberately choose to be happy, you have everything that will take you to the light at the end of the tunnel. So as you become steeped into that state of happiness, when you're choosing to say, okay, I feel all these things, but there is nothing I can do about them, and you challenge those feelings, what purpose do they serve? And they can't respond to say they serve any purpose, you can just say, okay, not today. You're not serving me today. I know you're there, but you just sit down, take a little rest until you can give me an answer. I'm going to choose to be happy right now. And now you are propelled towards the light at the end of that tunnel. Little effort from you other than choosing deliberately to be happy. So when we choose to be happy, we move through situations. We don't get stuck in them. Because every time we get stuck in a situation, we become laden and heavy burdened with grief and bereavement and anxiety and panic and worry and stress. And then we try to cover it up and polish it up. And then we shift into procrastination, hesitation, and perfectionism. And it doesn't work. It wears us out. But when we shift and choose to deliberately be happy, suddenly all of that doesn't matter. Things come to us unbidden. Ideas come to us unbidden. Solutions just come and they work. And we are pulled out of that situation. We're propelled into beneficial situations, situations where we have better relationships, better income, better role responsibilities, better accommodation. Everything becomes better because we have a different perspective on life. Choosing to deliberately be happy gives us that perspective that we didn't think was possible. But then in the middle of the situation, it's there. We've done it. We've come out at the other end. And to some people, it will look miraculous. Because they'll think, how did you do that? I didn't see you making any effort, but yet you did it. And you know it's because you deliberately chose to be happy. Well, I hope that was helpful. And this is Jen Joseph, here to release your confidence. Bye for now.